Hey, my lovely. So you can see here I have a bounty. A bounty of, I guess most of these are grape tomatoes. I've removed some of the cherry tomatoes. I have baskets and bushels of larger ones. So basically what I'm going to confit these. Confit is the French word for cooking. Kind of slow cooking in fat or oil. So what you want to do is take off all the green parts and get these laid out in a single layer. And then we're going to slow cook them, slow roast them in oil. But because I have so many, I'm going to do two different kinds, varieties here. I'm going to smash some garlic. Well, let's see. I want 4 in each. So, and yes, the TV is going. Okay, so we're just gonna smash some, throw it in, and smash, throw it in, and smash the garlic, and that will infuse in the oil. Oh, I might want to add that confit is the French word for cooking in it, or for preserving. It's really quite an ancient recipe, ancient being like Middle Ages, for preserving food in fat or oil. So a confit of duck is basically cooked, slow cooked in its own fat. And sauerbraten is basically cooked and, sauerbraten is German, and they don't call it confit, obviously. So we're just gonna spread this around. But sauerbraten is done the same way. In fact, the sauerbraten survives in its own fat, in a backyard, back garage, or for, up to a month before it's then recooked and served the way duck confit is. So it is an ancient method for preserving and curing meat. I'm not sure curing is the right term. So anyway, we're just gonna smash garlic, and I'm gonna do one. And oh, I want to mention that I have so many, I'm gonna do more, but I want to do I'm gonna do two varieties. I'm gonna do thyme, and we're gonna do confit fennel. So don't worry about the stems. They're gonna cook down and they can be removed. Excuse me. But what we really want to do, what I'm going to do, is this will be preserved after slow roasting, and they can stay in the fridge in a sealed container for, well, they don't even have to be in the fridge, honestly, but I am, for a month or so. I'm gonna make a variety of tarts. I have lots of tomatoes, so you can tell me what you want to do with them, but this is what I'm doing with them. So I'm doing thyme and garlic in this one. Thyme is a lovely friend of roasted tomatoes. I'll fish out these stems, okay, at a later date. And then I'm going to put chopped fresh fennel in this one and kind of squish them down. Also note how these are all in a single layer. They have to be in a single layer. And then I'm going to put some fronds in, fennel fronds. They have that anise licoricey flavor. After roasting, that becomes very sweet. Let's put more thyme in this one and more of that in this one. The temperature of the oven is 250. And because these are grape tomatoes, and not cherry, well, I would do the same with cherry, but cherry tomatoes are rounder. And actually, there's a couple cherries in there, probably. There was no definition where I picked them, and it doesn't matter. You might want to cut them in half, but because I'm using these, and I intend to use these in tarts, I don't want them to split open. I just want them to have that slow roast flavor, and I want them to have the skin that's wrinkled so I can put them whole in tarts. Otherwise, you're just making roasted tomatoes, which are delicious and can be spread and used on things like pizzas or whatever. But then there would no point in confiting them because you could just roast them. So you have your two varieties here. This is the garlic and thyme. This is the garlic and fennel. And this is going to take about 2 cups of extra virgin olive oil. I suppose it doesn't have to be extra virgin, but I don't know that you've ever seen, I've never really seen regular non-extra virgin olive oil in a North American shop. So basically we're gonna have this covered. They're not covered, they're halfway covered in olive oil. The temperature is at 250. I'm going to put them in for 1.5 hours, but I'm going to check in 1 hour because, as I said, they're not cherry tomatoes, they're grape tomatoes. And they're much smaller, so I think I don't want them to burst. I don't want them to turn into mush. Some of them might burst because there's a few tiny ones. That's okay too. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking to see whether the oil is halfway up, because you are not confying if you're just roasting. So that's my message for tonight. Bye-bye. Okay, so they're peeking out of the oil. There's a lot of oil. That's going to help preserve them. And they're going to go right in, like I said, for about 1.5 hours, but I'm going to check them at 1 hour. And it could take as long as 2 hours. We'll see. Okay, folks, so I thought it might be good to show you the benefits of a fat separator. That's what this is. And I've already put all those tomatoes separated from their juices into these containers. And this second and third batch, the third and fourth batch are coming out. Actually, I'm going to leave that one in. So we've got, they have to be wrinkled, right? And I've decided to mix the ones with the garlic with the ones with the what do I call it? Fennel. And there's pieces of fennel. Well, that's actually thyme. Okay, so basically, these are nice and wrinkled. That's what you want. And you don't fiddle with them very much. You just get them out with the slotted spoon. And those will become excellent for making confit tarts, or tomato confit. So I just thought it would be good. The other ones are going to stay in for another 20 minutes or so. But, okay, here is the oil left over from the slow baking. But a lot of juice comes out. And so what you really want to do is get the juice to separate. And it will go to the bottom and we'll leave the fat on top. And this is designed so that you can make good gravy. And you see here, there's hardly any juice from that small tray. So let's get the bigger tray out. Let's see what happens. I think they've been in for an hour and 20 minutes. It's only the cherry tomatoes that didn't wrinkle. So let's make a video of this. Oh, sorry, folks. Oh dear. So we're gonna, you know what? Yeah, they look okay. They're wrinkled. And we're just gonna put them in like this. And they're split. And we didn't even want them to split. We wanted them to wrinkle. They will wrinkle, these for sure, because once they are cooled, but they're not cooled yet. Trying to get rid of that time. So I'm just gonna try to fit them into the 2 containers like this. And then it looks like oil, but trust me, there's a lot of tomato juice coming out of these babies. So we're gonna put them in like that. And there's little pieces of fennel. I decided to blend the fennel and the thyme ones together, half in one, half in the other, because I couldn't smell a difference between the two. They just smell like garlic and thyme. So we've got these all coming out. Voila, voila, voila. Tiny one, a little baby. And then we're gonna pour this into our trusty fat separator. Normally you use the separator to be able to get the juice and not the fat. But if you can see here, the brown bits at the bottom, you can't see. I don't know how to do this so you can see. But the brown bits at the bottom is the juice, and the greenish stuff is the olive oil. So we're going to do the opposite here. We're going to separate, put this somewhere where you can't get hurt because these are still hot. Everything's hot because I'm trying to do this before bedtime. And I don't want to wait. So basically, you can see here, you got the brown separating. That's the juice. When I did the first 2 trays, it was this thick. So this pours off the juice and leaves the fat. So look at that. There's no tomato juice left. So now we're just gonna top these up. You know, almost to the top. And, you know, instead of making gravy from juice, we're using the fat to confit. And that's can set for a month, sealed, airtight. So that's a little lesson on confit tomato. Thank you for watching.